It is so easy to burn through resources in this game. So today's video, we're going to talk about how to actually maximize those resources. That is right, we are talking about your gems, your silver, and your energy. Hey you guys, it's Cece. Welcome back to my channel. As I said, we are going to break this down in today's video, and the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the gems. So in terms of gems, one of the first things I always suggest, invest in your gem mine. Invest early, it will be worth it. It is one of those investments that you kind of unlock and then you can upgrade it and then you don't think about it. You'll just collect gems as it goes ahead and actually regenerates them for you. You'll go ahead and collect them. So yes, it's definitely worth it to actually go ahead and unlock this. In terms of where to actually use your gems, there's a few different places that you can do so in the game. So one of them is going to be the shop, of course. Down in the shop, you can use your gems for a variety of things in here. Some of it being worth it and some of it maybe not. In terms of what is worth it, full energy. Using your gems for energy refill will always be worth it. In terms of shard packs, this I think people are kind of split on. Some people will use it if they know that they're close to their mercy and they have some leftover gems sitting there they're not really using for much else. Then potentially that's up to you if you want to use it for that. But also classic arena refill, I definitely think it could be worth it in that as well. And if you're going to be doing an excessive amount of farming, it doesn't hurt to grab that XP boost. So in terms of what you should actually use your gems for, the number one thing I would say is energy. The next thing that you can actually use those gems on is in terms of your champions and their masteries. So if you have a champion that you want to go ahead use right away, but you've just pulled them, you don't have time to actually go ahead and farm their masteries, or maybe you just don't want to, you do have the option of actually using gems for this. So you hit get all scrolls, it is going to cost you 800 gems, but it will give you everything you need to actually go ahead and finish the mastery. So something else that I do think can actually be worth it for some of those champions, one that you pulled and you want to use right away. Next, let's talk energy. So in terms of energy, there's a few ways that you can actually maximize this resource. Number one thing, get yourself a solid campaign farmer. Get somebody that is going to be able to farm 12-3, do it quickly, do it effectively, in a way that is not going to waste your energy. You want to be able to have one champion in here that is going to be able to farm along with 3 fodder. Now we even have super raids, so make use of the super raids so that you're also making use of your time with this, but definitely get yourself a solid champion built for this. Going to be the easiest way for you to actually farm, and don't waste your time farming tons of other places in here. 12-3 is definitely the way to go. You also have 12-6 as an option if you are wanting a little bit more EXP, but keep in mind you'll get slightly less silver than you would from farming 12-3. If you can also make use of your multi-battles, even better, because it is another way for you to make sure that you're farming efficiently. Now, if you are going to use the multi-battle, make sure that you have a queue set up. This will automatically swap champions out as you are farming and as they're reaching their max level, so that it is a more effective way for you to be able to farm. Be sure that you are collecting the free energy in the game, whether that is simply your playtime reward from doing your daily quests and also participating in things like events and tournaments. Typically, these are going to have something like energy included in there that you can get from doing minimal things. For example, we have classic arena takedown. You get 75 energy simply by participating. So always a good idea, check what's going on and see if it is something that you are already going to be farming. When it comes to actually managing your energy, there's 2 things you want to pay attention to. If you know you are going to turn the game off and not really play, make sure your energy is emptied so it has time to actually refill. The other side of this is if you know you're going to step away but set up multi-battle, if you have extra energy in your inbox, that's where I like to actually collect some of it. So currently I am over. I have 555 out of 130. That is because I am planning a session. I'm going to let it farm, use my multi-battles while I do some other things. And I don't want to dip into my gems if I have that extra energy in my inbox waiting to be used. So I will also set it up that way. So just pay attention to your energy and your energy cap and make sure that you are utilizing it depending if you're going to be playing the game or stepping away. Let's talk about silver next. So when it comes to silver, similar to energy, you do want to make sure that you are taking a part in any of the tournaments and the events going on, if you know it's something you're already going to be doing. Sometimes these are actually going to go ahead and give you silver. Also pay attention to see if there's any type of event going on before you go ahead and upgrade gear. For example, right now there is a gear enhancement event, so it is the perfect time to actually go ahead and do some upgrading of my gear. Now, when it comes to actually upgrading gear, this is where you want to be sure that you are not wasting silver. Do not upgrade gear that you know you are not going to need unless you are simply upgrading low gear to reach the gear enhancement event requirement, but then you go ahead and sell it. But the main thing here is do not waste it if you don't need to. So don't upgrade things that you know have no place being upgraded because their stats don't make sense. For example, I have a ton of, let's say, my speed gear right now. And if I was to go through, I'm going to take a look, click on it and see some of the stats and see if there's anything that really doesn't make sense in keeping, because it is not very good. There's no point in me going ahead wasting silver to actually upgrade it. This right here is a prime example. It's got defense 5%, flat attack and flat defense. This is not gear that I'm actually going to waste silver upgrading, so I'm going to want to go ahead and sell that. So go through your gear, figure out what you want to keep, what you want to sell, what stats are actually worth keeping and selling. Keep in mind when it comes to certain gear that should be a percent, you don't want to use something flat stat on a gauntlet, for example, or a chest plate. I did make a video entirely explaining gear and what you should actually keep and upgrade, so be sure that you take a look at that. I will leave that down in the description box. And if you find videos like that helpful, be sure that you do subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos where I do give you guys other tips and break things down even further. It's also a good way for you to actually clean up some of your gear that you have. I am almost always maxed out, and that is simply because I need to go ahead and do a good clean of it. So make sure that you, from time to time, you go into your gear, figure out what you don't need and sell it, so that you're not sitting on potential silver that is just waiting for you to use it elsewhere in the game or to upgrade other artifacts. And again, make sure that you are doing your daily so that you are able to get more silver in your pocket. That includes things like doing your daily quest, but also make sure you do your clan boss. Clan boss is a great way for you to get some extra silver, as it is going to be one of those things that is included in a drop, and it's a surefire way to actually get some every day. As long as you have keys, you should be using them. So we've talked gems, we've talked silver, we've talked energy. What's left? Well, we of course need to mention shards. When it comes to shards, there's definitely a way for you guys to actually maximize this resource, and that includes pulling your shards during the right time. I do not suggest just pulling your shards simply to pull them, but instead wait for different events. For example, if there's a ×2 chance of getting epics or legendaries, just like there is on sacred shards right now, that is a good time to actually pull. If you're not waiting for anything else like a fusion or anything, that is a great time as long as it has some type of event going on. Possibly progressive if that makes sense for you and your account. For myself, I do suggest at least if it is ×2. So don't dip into your ancient shards, your void shards, your primals, any of those ones if there's no type of event going on. It's even better when there's 2 events and there's like a tournament going on that's a champion chase. Perfect time to actually go ahead and pull them. Now, when it comes to your mystery shards, go ahead and pull these as much as you guys like. Keep in mind, it's something you have to do for your daily anyway, so that one can be whenever you actually want to pull it. But as for everything else, just make sure there's something going on that's going to make it worthwhile for you. If you download Raid Shadow Legends using my link, I'm actually going to start you off with the free legendary champion on day 1, and then at level 10, level 20, and level 30, you'll get yourself an epic. That is 4 amazing champions that you can get just by downloading using my link. I hope this video helped you guys out in being able to manage and maximize your resources to their fullest extent. Leave some comments down below on any tips that you have in terms of resources for players, and be sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future tips and tricks type videos. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!